Are you over 40 and ready to set healthy boundaries? And have you been a people pleaser, an overgiver, someone that has struggled with using the word no? If the answer to any of those questions is yes, then in this video I'm going to share some 3 easy tips from the book by Terri Cole called Boundary Boss. And that will give you the power to actually put these in place to start creating those healthier boundaries in your life. If this is a topic of interest or it sparked your curiosity, please stick around. For anyone new to this channel, hello, I am Tanya. I am a rapid transformational therapist and coach, and I empower women over the age of 40 to truly authentically love themselves and prioritize themselves in order for them to thrive in their day-to-day life experience. So the first step is about knowing what your yes and what your no is. And that requires you to do a little bit of inner work, which is a bit of self-reflection, to figure out what are the things that you want to say yes to straight away. And if you want to say yes straight away, understanding what is the motivation behind that yes. Is it because you don't want to reject people, you don't want to disappoint people, you want to people please, you want to overgive? Or are you saying yes because it genuinely is something that will bring you genuine joy, pleasure, contentment, and satisfaction? And if the answer is that yes, you are deriving immense pleasure by saying yes, then clearly that is a yes for you. But if the answer is a maybe or I am not quite sure, you need to sort of delve in and figure out, well, what is the motivation? By saying no, why am I not feeling comfortable in saying no? Is it because of fear of rejection, disappointment, letting people down? And figuring out that will sort of like set you up in the right kind of way to know when to say yes and when to say no. And in order for you to give this some kind of practice, because practice and repetition is what is going to build that kind of memory muscle that is going to enable you to use this tool in the moment when you actually need it, is for the next week, actually, when someone asks you to do something or to meet up or to spend time together or someone makes a request, before you just automatically say yes, take some time to think about it. Say, give me half an hour, give me an hour, or I'll let you know at the end of the day. You don't need to give an answer straight away unless it's a life or death situation where you need to. And if that isn't the situation, then take the time, self-reflect, and then provide that response at the back and see how does that make you feel. Is it uncomfortable? And if it is uncomfortable, is it because it's a behavior you've never done before, so you're sort of like trying something new, you're pushing out your comfort zone? Or is it because you genuinely want to say yes and doing this exercise is causing the discomfort? In which case, maybe then you don't want to be setting boundaries, so take yourself off the hook. The second tip is about communicating clearly and kindly. You don't want to create confrontation. You don't want to be saying no just for the sake of saying no to try out the exercise. You want to really be able to sort of like position it in a way that it keeps the door open. You can say no to meeting up with friends this week, but you can actually say that I'm happy, my diary is pretty busy this week. It would be really tough for me to sort of come along, and I wouldn't be in my top game if I came, so I would much prefer for us to meet up next week or in a couple of weeks' time, or you go ahead and meet up right now and I will actually meet you at the next meeting. So you can position things in a way that is tactful, kind and compassionate, but at the same time it reaffirms your position. Now, within the book, Terri sort of like talks about the analogy of boundaries is about you sticking to your side of the road and other people are on their side of the road. Now, as overgivers and people pleasers, we tend to have a tendency to go away from our side of the road, cross the road and go over to other people's side of the road and try and fix and resolve and provide solutions, provide the support that they require. But in actual fact, in some instances, we're actually doing that because we've got that innate wiring and that is something that we've always done. And sometimes the people on the other side of the road have not actually asked for our advice or our guidance. It is just an expectation that we've got, that they've asked in the past. So therefore we want to be helpful and therefore we'll step into their side and help them fix whatever needs to be fixed or resolve whatever needs to be resolved. That is us overstepping, and this is us trying to take away our responsibility of taking care of our side of the road. So we need to figure out what is our yes, what is our no, how do we want to communicate in a kind and compassionate way, but at the same time prioritize ourselves, delve deep and figure out what is motivating us, what is driving this overgiving and people pleasing behaviour in us. Is it because that is just something that we've always done, and therefore has it always given us a benefit? If it has, then maybe sort of start questioning, is it something that you want to continue doing? Because if you are like me, I was exhausted by all the overgiving and the people pleasing. I started resenting saying yes rather than feeling comfortable with saying no. And as I've sort of like applied more of these tools and techniques, it feels more natural and more comfortable in order to actually do it, but being kind as well. The third tip is about building self-trust and celebrating the small wins, because these changes, you being able, like if you've never used the word no for months or years or never in your life, saying no is a massive step and it might feel really uncomfortable. So it's about reinforcing that behavior. Give yourself the pat on the back, give yourself the whoop whoop, well done me, because by doing so you're reaffirming within your kind of neuroplasticity within your brain that muscle of, this is a good behavior. This is something that I want to reinforce. This is where I want to do it again. And this is about that reward. By celebrating, you're actually reaffirming that you're doing the right thing, that you're prioritizing yourself, and you're doing it in a kind and compassionate way. And this is where setting these boundaries is going to take time, because if you've not had boundaries, or if your boundaries have been really unhealthy, it's not that you're going to just like with a click of an eye watching this video, you're straight away going to have the tools and the techniques. Go and read the book, learn more. And there's a few kind of questions within the book that Terri sort of mentions that I want to share with you. Is when you're in a situation and you're feeling a bit triggered and a bit like, oh wait a minute, I'm feeling a feeling that I'm not comfortable with feeling and I'm not sure why I'm feeling this, ask the question, who does this person or situation remind me of? Also ask the question, where have I felt like this before? And the final question, how is this behavioural or situational dynamic familiar to me? And by asking these questions and then doing the 3 R's, which is recognize, release and respond, these tools and techniques that are described in the book will enable you to figure out why you're feeling that sense of discomfort, why saying no and someone reacting in a way that makes you feel a certain way. And it's about delving in and figuring out that, oh, why am I feeling the way that I am feeling? What triggered that feeling? Why is this? Because sometimes someone will say something, you'll respond back, and then it's not the response that you've given or the reaction of that person. That can take you back to an experience that you had 10 years, 20 years, maybe 30 or 40 years in, or 50 years in your childhood. And it's triggering there. And it's about going inwards and really figuring out what is making you feel and think the way that you are. But setting the boundaries is the foundation for you having prioritizing yourself, setting healthy boundaries with others, so you're sticking to your side of the road. That is your responsibility. That is where you should stay. You can guide, advise, support people, but you still stay in your side of the road. You can ask permission, you can provide guidance, but only if they've given you permission to do so. So I want you to sort of comment below if you've read the book. What did you think of the book? Have you used these? Have you set healthy boundaries? Was it something, how did it feel saying no for the first time? If you feel inclined to do so, please share below. That would be really, I'd love to hear, and I'm sure other people within the community would also like to sort of see your contribution. So now, if this is a topic that has resonated, if this is my vibe, my energy are aligning with you, please like and subscribe. If you think this topic would be of value or benefit to another friend, colleague, family member, please share this with them. And remember, there is always choices in life, so choose wisely and go out and seize the day. Until the next one, go and set some healthy boundaries. Bye for now.